All right, here's our men's national team reporter, Matthew Scianitti. I know you're a lifelong New York Jets fan, so this must be a thrill for you to be at MetLife Stadium.
Yeah, Jay, you know, usually the Jets season and the Super Bowl III banner is actually hanging just over my left shoulder here. For those keeping count, 57 years since that Super Bowl victory and Joe Namath guaranteeing it. But since those Jets seasons usually suck by August or September and maybe pushes into October before there's heartbreak, this is definitely pretty cool for me today.
Let's get back to business. Less than 48 hours to the match. Where is this team physically, Matthew?
Well, today was really their only full training day before they will face Argentina here at MetLife on Tuesday. Kind of a mix. Some players, when it was open to the media, were doing some drills. Others were doing some light jogging and active recovery. This is something I've seen before on the road with this team in major tournaments. I think back to the World Cup when, after they played that intense game against Belgium, there was a short recovery period before they faced Croatia. I observed the same thing, but we talk so much about Jesse Marsch and the demands that he's put on his team, the physical demands. It hasn't resulted in any injuries. Obviously, the unfortunate situation Tajon Buchanan had aside. And Jesse Marsch said today he expects to have the full complement of his roster ready for Tuesday.
And just as important, what is their mental state ahead of that rematch with Argentina?
They couldn't be higher. I was around them all Friday after that penalty shootout win, that historic moment. You know, it's oftentimes maybe in those moments when it doesn't happen as regularly for certain teams, and certainly you can put the Canadian men's national team in that pot, that it could ultimately just be the high water mark, and it doesn't get any better than that. But what have I said throughout this whole run? Calm and confidence. I saw them walk in that way into the stadium in Dallas at AT&T. I saw them, most of them, walk out that same way too. When Richie Larea and Ismael Kone spoke about it today, Ismael Kone in particular always talked about not really worrying about nerves. He doesn't second guess things. Richie Larea also too talking about this team being at a certain emotional level. And Jesse Marsch often has said that he's not worried about the way that his team is going to deal with this emotionally. And in particular, one reporter asked Ismael Kone what it's going to be like to have 80,000 Argentines cheering against Canada after the road that they've been on. When you think of Atlanta and Kansas City and Orlando and Dallas, all the fans they've had to deal with. And Ismael Kone actually corrected that reporter and said, no, the capacity of MetLife Stadium is actually 82,000. To me, he seems ready for the moment.